Welcome to Tyla Walker Romance. You're about to dive into one of Miss Tyla's free full audiobooks. She always knows how to make you forget your life with handsome alpha male billionaire heroes and sassy strong heroines who grab love with both hands. In order for this content to be free, we have to take out the dirty details. Otherwise, we risk disrupting this platform's rules and guidelines. Buy the unabridged version of any Tyla Walker audiobook from TylaWalker.com, and with code SAVE40, you can get 40% off any digital product at checkout. Take this moment to subscribe to the channel, and remember that liking and commenting is what makes these free full audiobooks possible. Thank you for choosing to treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 1. Clyde. Let us make this night wonderful. Start placing your bets on your respective tables. The cheerful voice of the male MC surrounds the whole casino hall as I'm enjoying my time here in the exit area. I'm playing around with the woman I just met at the pool last night. Skimming the whole place, I can see a lot of people close to my age enjoying their time as well. It's been an hour since the party started, but I received no greetings at all. Well, I can't blame them since I'm hiding from them to spend time with this woman whose name I can't remember. Please enjoy your drinks. It's all in the house, courtesy of our one and only Clyde Keller, who's celebrating his 25th birthday tonight, the MC says while eyeing the guests. I can hear people cheering, not because of my birthday, but because of the complimentary drinks that are now being served on their tables. Speaking of Clyde, is he here yet? I see the MC moving his head, looking for me. Two girls from the back wave their hands to tell him that they haven't seen me. Oh, the celebrant might be arriving fashionably late. Let's wait for him to get here. He then sits on the chair beside him, still searching for me. I look at the woman in front of me, only seeing her head because she's busy kissing me on my neck and leaving marks that will surely be visible later when I decide to greet all the guests. Put my hands on her waist and bend a bit to look at her face. She's now looking at me with lust in her eyes, and I just brush it off. I move forward and kiss her hungrily. I can feel her nails scratching my back as I bit her lower lip, making her moan. Realizing that this might go deeper, I stop kissing her and move my hands away from her waist. She gives me a confused look, and I put on my signature smile whenever I finish flirting around with women. That's a good one, Kara, I drunkenly say. I remember I drank a lot of wine earlier. How many times do I have to remind you? It's Vanessa. This is already the third time, she complains, crossing her hands on her chest. I laugh and tidy myself up, then look at her once again. This will be the last time. Excuse me, I have hundreds of people waiting for me to greet them. I'm about to leave her alone when she suddenly grabs my arm. See you next time? I gently take her hand off my arm and tap it. Enjoy the party and have fun, I reply and head to the crowd. All of the guests recognize me and quickly clap their hands as I walk to the center. The MC hurries to stand up and grabs the microphone once again. Let us all welcome Clyde Keller, he announces, and the claps become louder and clearer in my ears. I shake off my white coat and brush my right hand in my hair. I greet everyone I know and shake hands with them. Mr. Clyde! I hear two voices shout in unison behind me. I look at them and eventually smile as I see them running toward me. Twins. The croupiers bow at me, and I quickly wave my hand to tell them to drop the formalities. I told you, don't treat me like I'm someone you are not familiar with. Okay, Clyde, they answer in unison again. I laugh at how cute they are. Let us assist you to your table, Dana says, the twin who's more of a softie. I raise my eyebrows. It's all right. I can manage. Daphne, the older of the two, comes close to my ears. We won't make it look like you need help. She then moves away and gives me a slight smile. I nod at them, and they walk in front of me like they are my chaperone. Looking around, I already see some of the guests holding their hair out of frustration while placing their bets and taking out their respective cards. Thinking about it, it's been a while since I last used my gambling trick. A playful smirk forms on my face as I think of a wonderful plan to win against the people here. "What is it, birthday boy?" Dana whispers back in my ear. I tap the twins' backs and whisper to them, "Hey, I will give you a generous tip if you deal me with good cards." They look at each other and nod. "Your wish is our command, Clyde," Daphne replies and grins at me. "Deal," Dana adds. Dana and Daphne Autumn, or the Autumn twins, have perfect sleight of hands, so I'm sure nobody will be able to catch on to what's happening. They giggle and quickly make their way to their spots. I see a familiar person at the nearby table. I approach him, and he stands to offer his hand to me. I stare at his hand and proceed to sit down, not minding him. He quickly puts his hand back down and frowns. "Dalius, if you want to play with me, come sit down and show me your awful skills," I tease him, and greet the other guests at the same table. Dalius, the man who's always getting on my nerves whenever we play in this casino, sits down and gapes at me. "I shouldn't have decided to play nice with you, thinking it's your birthday." I scoff. "No one asked you to play nice. Show me what you got." He rolls his eyes. "I'll win against you." I smirk at him, and Dana starts to place cards on the table. Of course I won. "No one can outdo me, especially on my birthday," I state, and give him a smile that will frustrate him for the rest of his life.
Chapter 2. Ada. You're the only person I know who is so talkative during rock climbing. My brother Cojo hisses at my statement. We've been rock climbing in Smith Rock State Park for almost an hour, and he's been talking to me like we're just taking a stroll. I move onto the left rock with my hands hardly clinging to the rocks above. Looking down, the people and houses have become smaller. I want to laugh since I see other climbers below who look like they want to back out. Maybe it's their first time doing this. I was also like them when I started rock climbing. Eventually, I learned to love this activity, especially since I get to bring my brother with me. I just ended my long-term relationship, but I'm out here, climbing with you again, he says, making me laugh. You're not even letting me embrace the breakup. He just broke up with his girlfriend, who's also my childhood friend. I don't know the whole story of their breakup, but I'm bummed as well. I look at him, and he's about to cry. I use my right hand to tap him and grab his attention. He quickly looks at me. "What?" he asks. "Don't be so bummed out. It's not like she's the one who ended it," I reply. He frowns. "Yeah, it was a mutual decision." "What happened?" I ask him. "It's just..." He stops for a moment, suppressing his tears. "We weren't working out anymore. Our lives these days made our relationship complicated, and we couldn't handle it," he explains briefly, and I just stare at him. That sucks. Imagine realizing one day that you're not working well together anymore. I sympathize with you, bro, but you've got a long way to go in life. There's a lot that can happen, so just enjoy the present, I advise him. He scoffs. "I know. It's just that we've been together for so long, and she's kind of like already a part of our family, right?" I just nod at him, trying to find the right words to say. I always thought it was very unlikely for a relationship like theirs to fail. We really can't tell what's going to happen in this world. "I know, but you should let her go, right? Unless you are thinking of saving the relationship and want her back," I ask. He pauses to think, not giving me an answer. "Come on, bro. Mom and Dad will understand. If you have the balls to tell them," I tease him, but he's still not replying. He continues climbing, and I see him step on a small tip of the rock. He's not looking at it, so he's not aware. Before I can hold his other hand to support him, the clamp he's holding fails, and he slips. "Help!" I shout. After a few seconds, rescuers make their way to him, and we rush my brother to the hospital. I don't know how many times I have walked back and forth in the hallway. My hands are wrapped around my chest, and I feel sweat forming on my forehead. 15 minutes have passed, but there was still no news about my brother. He's inside the emergency room, and I can't help but worry about him. He just experienced a breakup, and now he injures himself. If I didn't ask him to come with me, this wouldn't have happened at all. I start to bite my nails out of worry and nervousness, contemplating if I should call our parents right away. They're a bunch of worrywarts, and I don't want them to freak out. Miss Ada Wellington? I quickly look back at the person who's calling me. It's the nurse who helped me when I brought Cojo here. I run to her and hold her shoulder. How is he? Is he hurt that bad? The nurse smiles at me, a smile that nurses give when they don't want the guardians of their patients to worry, and taps my hands that are on her shoulder. We have just finished the tests. He has a serious hip fracture and might stay here in the hospital for a while. I close my eyes after what I just heard. I sigh heavily and look at the nurse. Can I go inside? Can I see him? She nods at me, and I quickly enter the room. My brother is just staring straight at the light above him. I feel guilty, thinking that he must be sad after injuring himself. I slowly walk to him and hug him lightly. He shudders but still reciprocates my hug, tapping my back. I'm sorry. I break away from the hug to look at him, confused why he just said that. Why are you the one saying sorry? I should be the one who's saying sorry to you. I asked you to come with me, and now you're injured. He flicks my forehead. It's all right. I was just joking earlier when I said that you weren't letting me embrace the breakup since you made me climb with you. What I really wanted to say was that I'm grateful to you for bringing me, so I can shift my attention to other things besides the breakup. But you were still thinking about it earlier, I reply, sitting on the hospital bed. He laughs. Can't help it? I feel bad for him, but I don't want to show it. Then why are you sorry? Oh, I might not take the next rodeo competition with you. I'm sorry about that, he replies. I pinch his cheeks, and he squints since it probably hurt him a little. Worry about yourself because I'm really worried about you now. I'll just call Mom and Dad to tell them what happened. He gives me a small smile, so I pat his head. Just rest and get better, okay? Your body is more important than the competition. Well, the competition is important too, but I don't want him to feel bad again.
Chapter 3. Clyde, I wake up, feeling like I'm in hell, and as if I just fell from a high building. My head hurts and my body is sore. Last night was freaking awesome that I couldn't remember how many drinks I had. I carefully stand up from the bed to not wake the twins up. I slept with them, but I can't remember the details since I was so drunk. They served me hard drinks, and I couldn't say no to them. There's a box of medicine on the side table. I take it and pop a Tylenol to ease my headache. I then grab my phone from the drawer, which I haven't checked for almost a day, and I see a lot of notifications coming in as I turn on the cellular data. I respond, thanking the people who greeted me. It seems they had a great time. Of course, they would. It was my party. I even hired a disc jockey, who's also an acquaintance of mine, to play sick beats. What's got you smiling? I stop looking at my phone and turn to where the voice is coming from. The Autumn twins are awake, and Daphne was the one who asked. They are peeking from the blanket, still covering their bodies. What's with that stare? Dana asks. I've seen everything last night. No need to cover yourself, I say. But if you... Before I can finish my sentence, Daphne shoves the blanket that's covering them and winks at me. I was going to say, but if you want to get dressed, I still won't leave the room. Looks like the spoiled and wealthy Clyde Keller can't do a threesome if his mind is in the right state. Daphne teases me, and I smirk. I do, but not just with the two of you, I reply. They stare at me and I cough. What? I ask. Dana stands up from the bed. Well, we were not only a croupier who helped you win yesterday, but also... We became babysitters of the great Clyde, who was so drunk that we had to bring him here so he could rest and sleep peacefully. Daphne continues Dana's sentence. Well, after he had some fun. Your assistant was nowhere to be found because she was taking a day off. Really? On the day of his big boss's birthday celebration? Dana adds and grabs a glass of water to drink. I don't blame her, though. If I were her, I wouldn't go back. I would rather just find another suitable job than stick with Clyde as my boss, Daphne harshly says. I look at her, raising my eyebrows. Are you insulting me now? I ask them, and they laugh in unison. Damn twins. No, we're just simply asking if you'll still give us a generous tip. We gave you a lot of good deals, played the casino for you, and even cared for you in your drunkard state, Daphne replies and crosses her arms. Isn't having a grand time with me in bed enough for a generous tip? I ask. Dana rolls her eyes. You can call it grand time only if we continued in the morning, but we didn't, so yeah, we need something extravagant. They held out their hands, asking for their tip. I quickly get the phone on the side table and show them something from it. Their eyes widen at what they're seeing. Then they suddenly bow in unison again, saying, You're the best, Mr. Clyde. Their personality switches so fast when money or anything beneficial for them is involved. I rented this whole yacht for us three as a tip for the things they did for me yesterday. I showed them the name of the yacht, and our names under the booking. I hear squeals from them, and they rush off to get ready. I watch them as they walk outside the bedroom of the yacht and laugh. I rented this after winning against Elias, realizing that the money I just won was enough to rent it. I follow them outside, and they are very excited to see the luxurious foods and drinks already served on the table. They look at me, gesturing to come closer and eat. I sit between them and start to eat. We're chatting and joking around, then Dana confesses something. But to be honest, last night was indeed a grand time, she says. I just simply nod. She means after the party, Daphne clarifies. Rate my skills, I joke, and Dana blushes hard. We continue eating, and after we open another bottle of wine. Damn, you really live like this, huh? Daphne, who has a high alcohol tolerance, asks, Making out with every woman you want, partying and goofing around? Why? Life's supposed to be lived that way, I reply, and she shakes her head before taking a sip of her wine. I will laugh at you if you'll realize someday that there's more to life than the life you're living right now, she says. I don't know what to say to that. I've lived this kind of life for so long now, and I never wanted it any other way. Getting what I want in just a snap, playing around and partying around. This is life. My life. Suddenly my phone rings. I grab it to check who's calling. It's my father, who I've been ignoring since yesterday. I didn't invite anyone from my family since they'll just ruin the party. I rub my temples before answering his call. Come to my office now. Then the call ends. I groan and grab the car key in the pocket of my slacks. The twins look at me confusingly when I stand up. Just do whatever you want here. All expenses are on me, I shout as I head to the exit. They smile after hearing what I said. The Autumn twins give me a wave before asking the waiter to come nearer.
Chapter 4. Ada, time flies so fast. It's been a week since Cojo got admitted to the hospital because of his hip fracture. I stayed with him for 5 days and came back here to the farm to work. I'm now picking up dairy products from Rossetti Farm to deliver to the creamery. This is what we do for a living. My family lives on a ranch anyways, so I'm an expert in doing heavy work on the farm. Looking good just for picking up some products, Ada. I hear a voice that I recognize right away. Nita. I smile at the woman who's one of the owners of this farm. What a pleasant morning to the both of you. I continue, greeting her husband John as well. And what do you mean looking good? I'm just wearing what a normal person would wear if they're working at a farm. She laughs at my mischievous answer. You're up early today. Got a lot of work to do here? John asks. Right, you weren't here the past week. I just came back after a 5-day absence. I reply. Did something happen? Your brother's also not here with you today. Nita worryingly asks. Right. They will probably look for him since they are used to seeing him with me. In fact, he always looks like a cat following his owner whenever we are here. I sigh. Actually, he's in the hospital. John's eyes widen. What happened? He fractured his hip while we were rock climbing, I explain. Something distracted him and he slipped while climbing. I see a glint of worry in their eyes, so I quickly add, but it's not as bad as it sounds. He's currently recovering in the hospital now. He just needs to stay there for a while. It will be a long rest for Cojo. He can't walk and move his hips, so I think it will take a month for him to recover. Poor brother. Not only is he emotionally hurt, but he also has to endure physical suffering. We're glad he's on the road to recovery. We'll also find someone to help you with the labor, Nita offers. Oh, right. I have no one to help me here on the farm. I smile. Thank you so much. Please contact me when you find one. Where are you going after this? John asks me while they're checking some papers. Oh, I'll be delivering this to the creamery and go visit Cojo after I finish. I respond to them. They nod at me. Send our regards to Cojo. Tell him to get well soon because he has a lot of work to do here, Nita jokes, and the three of us laugh. I'll excuse myself then. I bid goodbye to them, and they wave their hands, telling me to be safe. They also hand me a box of fruits for Cojo. I thought you said you won't come anymore, Cojo whines. The moment I enter his hospital room, I scoff. What's with the whining? Why are you acting like a child now? I put the box of fruits that John and Nita gave to me earlier beside his bed. I also got some healthy snacks before going here. How are you? I ask him before he can whine again. He looks at me and mockingly replies, You can see I'm on a hospital bed, right? I can't walk and move, and you're asking me how I am? The answer is in front of you. Goodness gracious. Why is he throwing tantrums today? Can't I ask my dear brother how he is? But I don't mind, even if I want to slap his forehead for being childish. I'm just glad he's responding. A few days ago, he seemed out of this world. The breakup is probably still bothering him. I give him no response. I'll just let him be for now, but the next time he will give me an attitude like that, I won't let it slide. Mom, Dad, and Ray came by earlier, he says, and I hum. Ray is our youngest sister. She's 8 years younger than Cojo and 10 years younger than me. What did they say? I hope they scolded you. I tease him, but our parents wouldn't do that. They're the type who like to banter with us. That's how close we are to each other. His voice becomes small. They saw me crying earlier. I stop arranging the things I brought and turn around to see him now lost in his thoughts. He's not looking in my direction, so I come closer to his bed and sit at the edge of it. Were you crying because of the same reason again? I ask in worry. He just nods, and I know he doesn't want to talk about it. I sigh and play with the strands of his hair, like how I comforted him before when he was still little. I just came back from the farm today, I say after a few minutes of silence. I see his face lighten up after I mention the farm. He loves the farm more than I do. John and Nita are looking for you, so I told them what happened. I continue while Cojo listens to every word I say. I also said that it will take a while until you can go back and work. He pouts a little. God, can I just go out now and work? I'm so bored here. I laugh, glad that I was able to get his mind off the breakup. Please do get well first. They told me that they will find someone to help me with the work. He looks at me and raises his eyebrows. They're looking for my substitute? Of course. Who will help me if you're here? I respond to him as I raise my eyebrows too. I just hope that someone is as good as me and will keep up with your attitude. He teases me, so I'd stick my tongue out. But yeah, I do hope he's right.
Chapter 5. Clyde. You don't go to my office looking like you aren't taken care of. Great. I've just entered the office, and a loud shout from my father fills the whole place. I immediately look at my appearance in the reflection of the sliding door, and what a great sight to see. I still look handsome, even though my clothes are wrinkled. What do you mean? My perfect features are still visible. My dearest father. I smirk and sit in the chair in front of him. We're 2 meters away, and I like to maintain that distance. You look like a mess. Did you sleep around with women again? He sounds so furious. Still asking the obvious, Dad. I decide not to answer him and play with the minifigure that's on his table. He's massaging his temples now while looking at me, contemplating if he should scold me more. He sighs loudly and takes a seat in his swivel chair. He gave up, for now. I have something very important to tell you. He's calm now. I let go of the figure I'm holding and listen intently to what he's about to say. This is not to ask for your permission, but rather to inform you, he adds while staring at me. I'm starting to get confused. What does he want to tell me? I hope it's not something about business. It's still too early for that. What is it? I ask. You will be sent to Oregon for an educational retreat, he informs me. This makes me suddenly stand up from my seat. Before I can say anything, he continues. I'm so tired of your behavior, Clyde. I'm going to send you there so you can work on it. You will be the next heir of our family's business, and I don't want you to manage it with the attitude you have right now. I'm shocked. My father is really mad at me. On normal days, he will just scold me like how he did earlier. But now, he's gritting his teeth and alternately rubbing his forehead and massaging his temple. But I'm not scared. I don't want to leave the city. I can manage our business soon. You don't have to send me anywhere far from here. Why are you punishing me now? I ask, my voice starting to get higher, and he suddenly looks more furious. He hit the table with his hands. If that's what you think, then yes. I'm punishing you, Clyde. And I'm not taking a no for an answer. I shake my head. No, I'm not doing it. I'll stay here. I'll miss out on my friends' events, and I won't be able to spend time with them. My father smirks. And that's the reason why you don't want to leave? Your so-called friends who are only after your money and status. They're not even trying to have a meaningful friendship with you. I clench my jaw, trying not to be affected by what he just said. I sometimes thought about that too, but I didn't give it much meaning and just let myself be surrounded by anyone. Not all friendships need to be meaningful, Dad, I reply. Then they are acquaintances to you, son. Don't trust people too much if they're only after your wealth and status. I won't buy that either. I'm not here for life advice. Then I'll do polo seriously and compete with you in the next Ferrari Las Vegas Polo Classic, I say, trying to tame him by mentioning the sport he loves. He asked me to compete with him before, but I said no because I will be busy. He raises his eyebrows. I thought you were going to be busy. I just said that because I was too lazy to do it. It will be 3 weeks from now, right? Take me with you instead of sending me to Oregon for an unreasonable reason. He waves his head and stands up. If you're not busy, then you can go to Oregon. I will also still bring you with me to the polo competition. I make my way to him and protest. But Dad, I can still manage the business without you doing this to me. He calms me down by holding my shoulders. Clyde, I'm telling you, I need you to go there and do everything that you can't do here. We spoiled you too much, and I'm sure having this educational retreat before passing the business to you will help you a lot. I'm trying to understand him and the whole situation. It doesn't make sense to me. How will an educational retreat or being sent somewhere far away benefit me? Honestly, I don't know if I can manage the business well. My parents have been doing amazing, keeping our business on the right state and track. I'm an only child, and obviously the next heir will be me. I really don't want to go. My life is here, and you can teach me how to manage the business. You don't have to send me there. I try to protest once again, but he's still firm. Trust me, Clyde. You need this. You have been so spoiled, and to tell you honestly, you have been living your life wrongly. He sounds more serious now. Why is everyone saying this to me like I'm some sort of baby? I don't care if other people are living differently than me. This is my life, and I'm used to this. I grit my teeth when I shout that in front of him. There's always room for change, Clyde, and you need it. I'm not doing this just for our business to do well in your hands. Someday, you'll realize and understand well why I need you to be sent there. No buts, son. Should I just run away? Don't even try to run away, Clyde. I'll have guards keep an eye on you. I already booked you a flight. You're leaving a week from now, he says without looking at me. He's now busy looking at his papers. Damn, how did he read my mind? I can't say no anymore, right? I ask, close to giving up. He just gives me a nod, and I quickly leave his office.
This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me, and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
Can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie bundle from Tyla Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. Right here.
You may be fine and all, but no one tells it like the way Miss Tyla does. And I need her in my life.
The Big Baddie bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to TylaWalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyla. Chapter 6. Ada. It's been days since the accident, and Cojo's now recovering. I decide to visit him again today. Our mom cooked his favorite soup, so I'll bring him fruits instead. I stopped by the grocery store to buy some before heading to the hospital. I honestly still feel guilty about what happened, even when he said not to be. Had I not invited him to climb, we could have averted the accident. But thinking about this won't change what happened. Upon arrival, I see Dr. Miller, the doctor in charge of Cojo, in the hallway. She's talking to a nurse, so I wave my hand to show her I'm here. After they're done talking, she approaches me. "Good morning, Dr. Miller. Apples?" I asked, picking up an apple from the basket and offering it to her. "Good morning, Ada. Thank you for the apple, honey," she responds, accepting it. "You're welcome, Doc. How's Cojo? Is he doing better?" I reply, giving her a sweet smile. "Well, your brother's a very lucky young man. He's recuperating well. He still needs to undergo physical therapy, but he's going to be fine." She smiles back. "Thank goodness, Doc. I'm more than happy to hear such news. I won't keep you any longer. See you around." "Oh, no worries. By the way, send my regards to your parents. See you around." I head to Cojo's room and can't help but smile at the good news I just received. It's as if the guilt I felt moments ago was instantly lifted. I reach his room and knock. My brother is looking out the window and enjoying the sunlight as the rays touch his face. He might have been spacing out and did not hear me knocking, so I knock again, this time a little louder. He turns around and greets me with a weary smile. "Hey, bro, I brought you soup Mom prepared this morning and some fruits." "Thank you, Ada, but I have no appetite." He winces. "Oh, come on, it's your favorite," I say in a sing-song manner. "I said not now, Ada," he shouts. Okay, calm down. I won't force you to eat. We can just reheat it later. But tell me what's wrong. Well, for one, I'm injured. And two, you can't join the rodeo because you don't have a partner because, again, I'm injured, he says, raising his voice. Seeing how distraught he is, I immediately hug him tight. I cup his face and say, "Shh, everything will be all right. Your recovery is our top priority, and don't be too hard on yourself." I know I'm not supposed to, but I just want to heal and recover faster. He sighs. Well, according to Dr. Miller, your body is healing faster, so you'll be out of here soon, although you still need physical therapy to fully recover. No worries, though. Given your physique, you can heal from it faster, I tease. Of course, I'm a werewolf, so yeah, I'll definitely heal faster, he jokingly responds. I ruffle his hair and gently kiss his forehead. Don't worry about the competition. Let's just focus on your recovery. One problem at a time, remember? Besides, just treat this as your vacation. I know you have been planning to have one for a long time already. Well, now's a good time. How about you relax and enjoy your stay here? I continue. You're joking, right? How can I even think of this as a vacation? If this is one, then this is by far the worst vacation that I ever had, he hisses. Oh, I am very serious about it, young man. You get to rest. No need to worry about work, and you have delicious food. This hospital is known for its good food. And Mom always cooks for you. All right. You win. But I promise you, once I'm able to walk again, I'll join you in the competition. Nuh-uh. We are not going to discuss it right now. I told you, you need to rest more. I prompt him to lay down on his bed. I understand where he's coming from, but I don't want him to strain himself. I know that he knows how important the rodeo is to me, but his health's more important. His recovery matters most for now. I can see the hesitation in his eyes, so I pull the older sister card. Don't make me repeat myself, young man. You may be bigger and taller, but I'm still older. Not to mention you're still injured, I say, sticking out my tongue. We continue bickering and laughing at the same time. He's so certain that he will recover in time for the competition, while I'm adamant that he should not rush his recovery. I guess we're both stubborn in our own way. Just in time, a nurse arrives to check on him. She gives Cojo his medicines and tells us the doctor's orders. She also reminds us to stop bickering so as to not strain the patient. When she's about to leave, Cojo stops her to ask, "Just a moment, nurse. May I know when I will recover so I can participate in the rodeo?" She replies, "I'm not sure exactly, but at least a few months. You still need to undergo rehab to fully recover and be able to have strenuous physical activities." Oh, I see. Thank you, nurse. You may go now. He, let out a deep and loud sigh. He feels burdened again and sulks nonstop. I really wish that you can find a riding partner as well, Ada. That way you can still participate without me. I know it's really your dream, and I wanted you to achieve it with me. Turns out that won't happen. Well, not this season. Oh, how sweet of you, Cojo. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine, I promise. If I can't find a riding partner soon, then I can still participate next season. And that would be even better, since you will be able to join me. Hearing this from me might have made him feel better because he gives me a smile. Not that wide, but it's as if he now fully trusts my words. I appreciate his drive to make my dreams come true. It's just that it's not time to pursue it yet.
Chapter 7, Clyde. I wake up to a strange sound, so I look around the room to figure out where it's coming from. My gaze lands on my window and I see a bird that keeps on pecking it, trying to fight its own reflection. I look at the clock on my bedside table. It's 8:30 in the morning. I suddenly remember that today is my flight to Oregon. I honestly don't want to go, yet I can't argue with my dad. Once his decision's final, no one can really bend it. I have more or less 2 hours before my flight, but I don't think I can make it. I've been contemplating having it moved to a later date for the past 15 minutes, but my headache is getting worse by the second. Well, whatever, I'll just rest later on the plane. I get up and take a quick shower. After finding some comfortable clothes to wear, I prepare my coffee and have a light breakfast. I booked my cab 30 minutes ago, but the driver hasn't arrived yet, so I busy myself with the latest news. Shortly after reading my third article, I hear the driver pull over, and we head straight to the airport. They say that when you are in a hurry, the universe has its ways to slow you down, and I couldn't agree more. I'm stuck in traffic when all I want is to get on the plane as soon as possible so I can rest. When I arrive at the airport, I hear my final boarding announcement, so I run as fast as I can. I nearly miss my flight, but luckily they still let me in, being a first-class passenger and all. Sometimes status has its perks indeed. Upon entering the aircraft, I immediately look for my suite and slump down before I drift to sleep. I'm in the middle of having a dream when a sudden tap on my shoulder wakes me up. It's the flight attendant. We are about to land and need to switch planes. Oh, right. This is a layover flight, I forgot. Still pissed that my sleep was interrupted, I quickly move out of the aircraft and walk past ahead of the other passengers. Thankfully, it doesn't take that long to board the second plane. Once in, I hurriedly look for my suite and continue to sleep. Upon arrival in Portland, a driver picks me up and brings me to Imperial Crown Hotel, one of our hotels in the area. There, I meet up with my father's assistant. "Welcome to Portland, Mr. Keller," she greets me, extending her hands to shake mine. "I'm Fiona Langer, and I will be assisting you throughout your stay here." She smiles. "Pleasure to meet you, Fiona." I shake her hand and give her a wink. I've been informed that Fiona is younger than me, but she's been excellent in her job. That's why she was assigned to me. Not to mention she is quite pretty as well, so I can't help but stare at her even though it's our first time meeting. "Nice try, Mr. Keller, but your charms won't work on me. I am well informed about your—" She pauses. "Anyway, I intend to keep my job, so let's be professionals," she continues. "Your room's ready, by the way. You can rest for now. There's no need to unpack your things, though. I'll brief you about it later. Call me if there's anything you need, and I'll see you at dinner." I head straight to my room and rest for a bit. Since I had enough sleep on the flight, I decided to swim instead. Before heading to the pool, I dropped by the hotel restaurant for a light lunch. I've been enjoying the pool for at least 2 hours, then I decide to head back to my room. While contemplating what I will do next, I fall asleep again. I woke up from a call from Fiona, stating I need to head down to the hotel restaurant as she has been waiting for almost an hour. Upon entering, I see Fiona fidgeting with her phone. I feel so bad to have kept her waiting, so I walk toward her as quickly as possible. I tap her shoulders to announce my presence, and her smile instantly fades, looking shocked as if she was caught doing something. "Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. I had a swim and fell asleep when I came back to my room," I say. "No worries, sir. I've been talking to a friend," she replies. "Oh, great. That's good to hear," I respond. "Are you hungry? I already ordered your favorite according to Mr. Keller. We can have it served when you're ready." "Yeah, sure. I'm actually starving. How about you?" I ask. She gestures to the waiter to serve the food and responds to my question. "I ate on my way here, but I'll have a bite as well. Would you like me to discuss anything now or after you eat?" "Well, we can discuss it while we're eating. That won't be a problem for me." "Okay, so I have here your itinerary. Mr. Keller approved, of course." She shows me a tablet as she discusses everything. "As per your father, you will be staying here in Portland for more or less 6 months. I have planned your day-to-day activities for your convenience, so there's no need for you to worry. Remember that I told you not to unpack your things earlier?" she asks, and looks me in the eye. I respond with a nod as I swallow my steak. "Well, you're actually not going to stay here in the hotel, because staying here would be not as educational, according to your father. Instead, you will be staying with the Rossettis, your host family. You would be helping on their family farm in exchange for free food and lodging." "Wait, what? You're kidding me, right?" "Oh, I'm very much serious about this, sir. Don't be mad at me, I'm just the messenger," she replies, raising her hands in surrender. "I will also not be staying with you with the Rossettis, but you will be supervised. I will call you from time to time, and you'll need to report your weekly progress on weekends. And lastly, you're not allowed to leave the premises without your father's approval. Ugh. Whoa, that's absurd. Sorry, sir, I'm just following orders. If you have more questions, you can contact your father. I'll leave for now. See you tomorrow? I understand, Fiona. I'll see you tomorrow then. After she left, I immediately contacted my father. I try to reason with him, but he tells me that it's all part of the retreat, and I have no choice but to adjust to the locals' way of living. Feeling exhausted about all this news, I end the call bitterly and return to my room. I'm just hoping that 6 months will pass by quickly so that I can go back to my life.
Chapter 8. Ada visiting Cojo in the hospital has been a part of my daily routine these days. I no longer feel guilty about the accident, but I make sure that he's comfortable in his situation. I bring him a lot of treats, his favorites, and the ones I found interesting and delicious online. Our mom would also cook his favorite soup in big batches and store it in a big container, since he gets grumpy if we miss bringing it. Sometimes he would complain that we're feeding him too much, but I know he's enjoying that we spoil him. I also make sure that the flowers in his room are never wilted, so I bring him new ones every other day. Before visiting the hospital, I fetch Ray from school first. She says she misses her big brother so much and wants to hang out with him for a little while. My siblings and I are close, but Cojo and Ray are closer to each other. Maybe it's because they have spent more time together, and he is pretty much lenient compared to me. Their favorite bonding is playing board games, so I make sure to pack some of it as well. "Cojo, I really miss you so much," Ray shouts at the top of her lungs. The moment we arrive, she immediately runs to Cojo and hugs him tight. He hugs her back as he ruffles her hair, which she doesn't mind. "Hey, kiddo, I miss you too. I can't wait to get discharged and hang out with you," he replies. "How long are you going to stay here? The house is so boring without you," she asks. "What am I, your clown?" He giggles. "Well, according to Dr. Miller, I can be discharged within a week, but I still need to do my rehab 2 to 3 times a week. Yes, you are my personal clown indeed. How about we play a board game? I actually miss beating you on this one." She takes out one of the board games I brought, and they start playing. Her happiness can't really be denied since she is smiling from ear to ear. Cojo's very good with different board games. He beat me most of the time when we were kids. But when he's playing with Ray, he always makes her win. I can't help but smile as well, seeing such a lovely view of my siblings' interaction. I am busy organizing the food that I brought into his mini fridge when Cojo suddenly says, "Hey sis, you have been feeding me a lot lately. You know I can't gain weight, right? I need to stay fit so that Layla will get back with me." He snickers. "Your appearance is not the problem." I scoff. "We're past that. Let's just move forward. Go and play with Ray. Let me finish this and I'll join you two afterward," I add. I join my siblings, and we play several games, just like when we were kids. Cojo keeps on beating me, but he still keeps on letting Ray win. Time flies so fast, but we don't care. We just enjoy each other's company. In a way, I like that we have this moment. I have missed this too. Back then, we had plenty of time to just goof around, but as we grew older, we lost it. Cojo and I got a bit busy with adulthood and seldom hung out with Ray. No wonder she is so excited to be here. We play and eat like there's no tomorrow. Ray's being too clingy with Cojo, and I just let them be. Good thing it's Friday and she has no school, so we don't need to go home early. I'm so caught up in the moment that I didn't notice that I had missed a call. I pick up my phone and check who called. It's Mrs. Rossetti. "Hey, Nita. I'm sorry I wasn't able to answer your first call. I'm here in the hospital visiting Cojo with Ray. We were so busy playing that I didn't notice you were calling. I also forgot that I left my phone on silent," I explain. "No worries, huh, money? How is Cojo?" she asks. "Oh, he's doing good. According to his doctor, he's recovering fast. He might be discharged next week, but he still needs to do rehab 2 to 3 times a week. I reply. Wow, that's great news. I wish him well, my dear. Send him my regards. Will sure do. Though I might add, I think he enjoys staying here since he is getting pampered so much, I jokingly say. Well, he is resting after all, so who can argue with that? We both laugh. By the way, the reason I'm calling is that I want to inform you that we already found someone who can help you while Cojo's not around. His name's Clyde, and he just arrived in Portland this morning. He will be coming over tomorrow to settle in. Then he'll start working on Monday. That's nice to hear, Nita. With that, Cojo can worry less about me and can just focus on his recovery. I can worry less indeed. But ouch, I'm hurt. My sister is replacing me, he jokingly shouts, so Mrs. Rossetti can hear him. Oh dear, no one's replacing you. I still want you around, so you must get well soon, Nita replies. I put her on speaker so that Cojo can hear her. I sure will, Nita. Hope to get back to work soon. You and John take care of yourselves as well. Well, I won't keep you on the line any longer, Ada. Enjoy your time with your siblings. Can you come tomorrow, though? So I can introduce you to Clyde if possible. Yeah, sure. I can use an extra shift anyways. Cojo's bills are a bit expensive, so I need some extra cash. Bye, Nita. See you tomorrow. Bye, Ada. See you tomorrow. She hangs up. Ray and I spend the rest of our day in the hospital until visiting hours are over. We bid Cojo goodbye as he gives us both a hug and kiss on the forehead. My brother is as sweet as ever. After we arrived home, I keep on thinking about my new workmate. I like meeting new people, but I just hope that we'll get along well. That will save us both the hassle.
Chapter 9. Clyde. Today's the day that I'm dreading, the day my worst nightmare will start. I'm honestly already waiting for it to end even though it hasn't even started. Thinking about it has kept me wide awake all night. I check the clock on the wall. It's 5 a.m. sharp. Fiona says to meet her at 8 a.m., so I roughly have 3 more hours to myself. I try to call my father to try and change his mind. I have been calling him for the last 30 minutes, but he still hasn't picked up. Maybe he's still asleep, or maybe he's just ignoring me. I call him for the last time and resort to messaging him instead. Dad, I know you've already made your decision, but please let's talk it out. How about I'll just have double shifts? I'll abstain from gambling and partying as well. Just, please, let me go back home, I text him. He immediately replied, stating that his decision is final, and that he still won't change his mind. He adds that, no matter what I do, his plans for me must be carried out, and that I must oblige. I'm tired of bargaining with him, so I just let it go. I did not unpack my things last night, so there's nothing much to pack. I take a quick shower and order my breakfast. I don't have much of an appetite, so I just ordered coffee, eggs, and pancakes. At 7:45 a.m., my phone rings. It's Fiona. I hesitated to answer her at first, but I still did it anyway. I tell her to give me a few more minutes, then I immediately head down to the lobby to meet her. Good morning, Mr. Keller. Are you ready and all set? She greets. Good morning, Fiona. Am I all set? Yes, ready. No, but do I even have a choice? I don't think so. I scoff. She just gives me a shrug and a timid smile. She checks her tablet and goes over with our today's schedule. I just let her speak on, my mind wandering. The hotel is far from Rossetti's farm, so it takes us almost an hour to reach our destination. Upon arrival, the owners, John and Nita, welcome us. They lead us to my quarters and they give me time to unpack my things. I only unpack a bit, then I lay down on the bed. I still have plenty of time to do it anyways. I'll be staying here for 6 months. I wish to sleep, but thoughts are flooding my brain that I can't even relax. I look around the room. It's so small and minimalistic. I only have a double bed, a bedside table with a small lamp, a slim and tall cabinet for clothes, a single chair, and a table attached to the wall. Good thing there's a bathroom inside the room, so I don't need to worry about going out. I can't help myself, but compare this to my room back home. Its size is more or less a quarter of mine, but at this point I couldn't care less. I don't care that my room is small since I am already beyond frustrated with the current situation. I wanted to scream and be mad at the world. I hate that my own father has thrown me into this, but I hold it all back. Instead, I stare at the ceiling and begin meditating to calm my thoughts. I'm about to drift to sleep when I hear a faint knock on my door. It's Fiona. She says it's time to have a tour around the farm. She gives me a few more minutes to prepare myself, then we proceed with the tour. John and Nita tour us around the farm. They show me the different areas for work. John explains how things are done while Nita introduces me to their other workers. I hate to admit it, but this place is starting to gravitate toward me. We are at the cow pen, and all workers in that area are busy milking the cows. They gather the milk in a medium-sized bucket, and then transport it to the barn where they place it in big white gallons. John is halfway through his explanation when a girl appears out of nowhere. She's a dark-skinned girl with curly black hair and dark brown eyes. Her outfit seems a little tomboyish, but I can't deny the fact that she's pretty, so I smirk. Our eyes accidentally meet, and she sees me smirking, so I straighten my face. She scoffs and then scans me from head to toe as if she's examining meat to be slaughtered before she greets us. "Good morning, John and Nita. It appears you have company. Sorry to bother you, but I'm just here to pick up the milk," she says. "Oh, no worries, dear. You're not bothering us. By the way, this is Clyde. Remember the one I was talking about yesterday? He'll be our new help around the farm," Nita introduces. "Clyde, this is Ada. You'll be assisting her here mostly," she continues. "Nice to meet you, Clyde. Let's get along well." She extends her hands to shake mine. "Pleasure to meet you too, Ada. Let's get along well. And oh, please be more patient with me. This is all new to me, after all." I smile shyly, scratching the back of my head. "Really?" She smiles awkwardly. "Well, I'll leave you guys to it. I still have a lot of deliveries to do." She turns and nods to Nita while giving a fist bump to John. She nods to me as well and heads to the barn to pick up the milk gallons. Nita informs me that those gallons are to be taken to the creamery. The milk from this farm is being processed for ice cream and other dairy products that are also sold locally. We continue our tour, and since John and Nita explained a lot to me, I think I'll have an information overload soon enough. Thank goodness I will start on Monday, so I have plenty of time to familiarize myself with the place. At the end of the tour, Fiona bids me goodbye and leaves me in the Rossetti's care. She informs me that she will still be assisting me, even though she's not staying on the farm, and will remind me of my daily schedule. Truth to be told, I'm a little nervous because I really have no idea how farm life goes. I grew up in the city and was born into a good family, so who would have thought that this would happen to me? I always think that because my parents have spoiled me, I will never experience such things. I never thought that my actions could still be taken against me, so I became careless. But there's no use crying over spilled milk. What's done is done, so I might as well face the consequences.
I thought I was getting a fake marriage, but I didn't know my story was being told by Miss Tyla.
This isn't just any fake marriage, now is it?
No, you introduced me to the devil.
Come on, girl, Jacob isn't that bad.
Oh, I love Jacob. His family, on the other hand?
Beggars can't be choosers, Nyla. You should be grateful I even let Jacob Stone look your way.
I just wanted to save my granddaddy. Is that so bad? Why couldn't you let this be a normal fake marriage? Instead, you put me in a twisty story filled with money, betrayal, power, and lies.
Let's not forget love.
That's what keeps me going. But not gonna lie, Miss Tyla. This story you got me in ain't the simple fake marriage, happy ending I thought it would be.
It's not. Because where would be the fun in that?
Treat yourself to Say Less I Love You. Tuesdays and Thursdays. New seasons premiere every month. Or skip the wait and grab the full series bundle from TylaWalker.com. Treat yourself with Miss Tyla. Chapter 10. Ada. Cojo's getting better these past few days. My parents and I alternately visit him so that he won't get bored being in the hospital all day. Ray wants to go to him more often, but it's not possible since she still has school, and the hospital is a bit strict with kids visiting lately. I think another factor that speeds up his recovery is Layla's constant communication. I just found out recently that she's been keeping in touch and has been regularly visiting him too. Cojo says that she also feels guilty about what happened. That's why she's making it up to him. I honestly don't have any grudge against her. Their breakup was a mutual decision after all. I am just disappointed because, aside from being Cojo's girlfriend, she is my childhood friend too, and I have witnessed how much they both love each other. Thankfully, they are now trying to patch things up and get back together. It's my turn to visit Cojo today, so I'm preparing a lot of things again. He has requested me to bring some of his books and some treats. He also asked me to buy a bouquet of lilacs for Layla, as she will also be coming over. Upon arriving, I see them being chummy with each other. Layla's feeding Cojo, and I just shake my head at the sight of my brother acting like a baby in front of her. I enter the room with loud footsteps, so both of them can stop what they are doing. I give Layla her bouquet of lilacs, and she's so happy at the sight of it. Cojo then gives me a big fist bump and a high five. I let the lovebirds continue with what they're doing while I unpack the things I brought. "Hey sis, how's your day?" Cojo asks as I place his fruits on the table. Same old, same old. Nothing exciting happened," I respond. "Remember the person Nita hired? The one who will help me around while you're out?" I continue. "Yeah, what about him?" "Or her?" "Him," I mouth. "How was he?" He continues. "Well, I just met him yesterday and..." I pause. "And?" he responds. I reply. "Really? He's that bad?" he inquires, and Layla just shrugs. A bit. "He's just your typical city boy who for sure doesn't know anything about physical labor," I reply, rolling my eyes. He just laughs at my reactions, and Layla joins him as well. "Look, sis, he can't be that bad," he says. "But what if he really is? What if he'll just end up slowing my work down? Then I'll end up doing more work. Not much of a help, right?" "Listen, Ada, my beautiful sister and the most independent lady I have known." He pauses to take a quick sip of his orange juice. "Just give him a chance, okay? Remember, we can't judge a book by its cover, so no matter what he looks, he might still have his capabilities," he continues. "Your brother's right, Ada," Layla chimes in. "I don't know how bad he looks that you're already giving up after just meeting him once, but I agree with Cojo. He can't be that bad, I guess?" She shrugs. I let out a deep sigh and take a bite of the apple I brought. All right, you two win." I raise my hand in surrender, and they both giggle. On the bright side, Cojo wasn't able to finish his sentence because I cut him short. "You're not done yet?" I giggle. "No, not yet. Let me finish first. Where was I again?" he asks. I just shake my head and continue eating my apple, while Layla responds, "On the bright side?" "Oh yes, right. On the bright side, just be thankful that you're at least given a chance to meet other people. Look, you've been so busy with work and barely have a social life. I think it's time for you to socialize." "And I couldn't agree more," Layla butts in. They give each other a high five as if they've just got a massive win. Well, in a way, I think they did. They've won over me after all. Fine, I surrender. I will no longer argue about this. Let's just hope you two are right. I hope that I won't end up doing much work come Monday. As much as I want to believe these lovebirds, I still can't help but be skeptical. Call me biased. But based on experience, city folks are really bad at adapting to farm life, especially those from well-off families. Based on his outfit yesterday, he does seem to be from one. Probably too problematic. That's why Daddy sends him off to a remote location to learn. Cliché as it sounds, but that's just the way I see it. The closest reason I could think of anyways. I spend 2 more hours in the hospital hanging out with my brother and catching up with Layla. Cojo was right. I have been so busy that I have been neglecting my social life. It's been so long since I was able to hang out with Layla as well. A nurse enters the room to administer Cojo's meds and change his IVs, so it's my cue to check my watch. Time flies really fast. I didn't notice that it was kind of getting late. I immediately excuse myself and start getting ready to go home. Well, look how time flies. It's actually getting late, and it appears my presence is not needed here, so I'll just head home. There's still a few hours left before visiting hours are over, so you two enjoy. I hug Cojo and give him a forehead kiss while I give Layla a cheek-to-cheek kiss. I was about to head straight home when I suddenly remembered that our mom wanted me to give something to Dr. Miller. I immediately go back inside to find her, but the nurse says it's her day off. I decide to drop by the grocery store before heading home to buy some snacks for Ray. She has been bugging me to buy her cravings for several days now, which I always forget. Since I badly need to rest tonight, I make sure to buy it to prevent her from pestering me. As I walk home, I still can't stop thinking about all the possibilities for Monday's work. I just really hope Cojo and Layla are right, that he's not just all looks, but can also be useful at work.
Chapter 11. Clyde. It's been a week since I got here on the farm, but unfortunately I can't really seem to adjust to how they live and work here. I am having a hard time doing the tasks, even if it seems easy. My life in the city is way different from my current situation. I used to drink and party every night, and that's what I miss the most. The entertainment. Life on the farm is boring, and I don't know how long I can last here. Planting and fixing the soil is not my thing. I thought this was an easy task when I saw other people doing it, but I was wrong about that. I'm really struggling to do the same things. Should I just leave? I've been asking myself that every day already. Still, I'm doing my best to focus and continue what I'm doing. Clyde, that's wrong. You should look first if the head of the cabbage is already well formed and firm before you harvest it. We've been doing this since your first day, and yet you still can't do it properly, John says, trying to hide his frustration. He's right. He even gave me a handout about it so I can be familiar with the tasks. However, I'm still confused. Let's stop this. I think you need more time to learn about harvesting it. Let's go to the other side of the farm. I followed him and we went to the tilling machine. He has really been patient in teaching me things about the farm, and I can see how tired he is from doing so. Well, I don't have any idea at all. I've never lifted a finger in my life. John tells me everything about the tilling machine and even shows me how to use it. After that, he gives it to me so I can try it. As usual, I can't make it start. I look around to see if people are watching us, and I see Nita from afar, and she's grinning as she watches us. I don't want people to see my weak side, so I want to show them I can do it. After the 3rd try, I manage to start the tilling machine, then John leaves me here to use it. A few minutes after using the machine, it stops. Again, I'm having a hard time making it start. I want to curse loudly and leave this thing, but I can't because John, Nita, and now Ada are watching me. Bull, what's wrong with this thing? I whisper to myself. I'm really frustrated and tired of this. I try to do the same thing I did before, but it's not working. In the middle of my mumbling, Ada approaches me. Need some help? She asks. If only a deadly stare and anger will make the machine work. You look as if you're going to eat it, she added. Thank you, I do need some help, I answer. I heard she helps on the farm regularly, so she's familiar with how things work. Don't mind Nita's gaze, she says while making the tilling machine run. She makes it work, and I'm impressed. This makes me think about why I took everything for granted back at home. I had a lot of time in the city, and I could have learned more about how the world works. Instead, I wasted my time. I should have focused on things that will help me grow. Maybe if I did, I wouldn't be whining now or needing help from others. While I'm using the tilling machine, Ada keeps on talking and giving me tips about the farm. It was a good thing the machine didn't stop again. I'm done with my task, and we walk to the stables. Out of all the places on the farm, this is my favorite area. She goes inside first, and it seems she really likes horses. She even talks and pets them one by one. When I was younger, I didn't like horses. I used to hate them because of an accident, she suddenly says, and I stopped petting the horse in front of me to look at her. I was riding one, but then it suddenly gallops forward, straight at my younger sister, Ray. I was panicking, so I pulled the rope really hard towards the other way. I twisted my arm as a result. After that, I swore to myself that I will not ride a horse until I can control them to make sure that no one will be hurt again, she explains. So what made you like horses again? I ask. Because of my brother, Cojo. He's very fond of horses. A year after the accident, he kept on telling me how he felt good when he was riding. Eventually, he was able to convince me to try it again. She shrugs and smiles at me. I go to the next horse and start petting it. And now, I have 2 horses. Their names are Chili and Pepper. You know, I've been around horses since I was younger. My dad loves to play polo, and I always accompany him, I said while brushing the horse's mane. Really? That's cool. I think you and my brother will get along well since he also plays polo, she replies and continues walking until she reaches the other side of the stables. I think I found my partner for the rodeo, she mumbles. She probably didn't realize she was thinking out loud, but I heard her clearly. I may consider it since I'm longing to have some fun. She turns around smiling widely. Do you want to come to our farm tomorrow? She'll probably tell me about the rodeo tomorrow. Sure, where is it? I'll write down the directions for you later. The name of our farm is Wellington's Rancho Vista. All right, I'll be there, I reply. Great, let's ask Nita for a pen and paper. She skips happily toward the couple, and I grin as I follow her.
Chapter 12. Ada. Welcome to Wellington's Rancho Vista, I say to Clyde, and he smiles. I give him a tour of the place, and since Clyde is new to farm life, I tell him the important details that might be useful to him in the future. He has been quiet the whole time we were walking around the farm, so I tried to open a conversation. Do you like plants? I ask. Not really, he said. All right, Ada. Enough with things about the farm. Maybe he's just interested in horses. Let's head to the stables. But first, we have to pass through the poultry area, flower garden, and my house. We finally reached my house. I go inside, and he follows me. My mom and dad are sitting in the dining area while having their coffee. Good morning, Mom and Dad. This is Clyde. And Clyde, these are my parents, Adrian and Carol Wellington. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Wellington. It's nice to meet you. Clyde gave them a big smile. It's nice meeting you too, hee-ho. Anyways, have you guys eaten breakfast? My mom asks. If not, you should join us, my father adds. I look at my mom, and she winks at me. Oh no, she always does this whenever I have visitors. Male visitors, to be exact. I give her a look to tell her to stop what she's planning on doing. Thank you for the offer, but I'm still full from the meal I had this morning, Clyde replies. By the way, he is currently staying with the Rossettis. He is helping them out, I share, and Clyde nodded. I go to my mom and lean close to kiss her on the cheek. He's not my boyfriend, Mom. He is a city boy and he needs to learn about farm life, so I invited him here, I whisper before kissing her cheek. My mom smiles at me before turning to Clyde. I see. Well, enjoy the farm. Clyde waves at them, and I lead him to the stables. I enter and take a sniff. It's a good thing that it's clean. I head to my 2 horses, placing myself in between them. This is Pepper, and this is Chili, I tell Clyde, and he smiles. Hi there, he greets them as he pats their manes. I'm amazed. He knows how to handle them, even if he just met them for the first time. He really is comfortable with horses. Do you want to race, Mr. Keller? I smirk as I challenge him. You're on, Miss Wellington. He gives me a mischievous smile. I don't know why, but I kinda like it when Clyde smiles. He gives me a different one every time, and I'm curious about what other expressions he can make. I wonder what life he had when he was living in the city. I've been in the city from time to time, but I never had a chance to live there for long. I'm brought back to reality when Pepper nudges me. I grab him and give Chili's reins to Clyde. Chili is the more muscular one, so let's see how they'll do. Our race starts, and I realize how good he is at riding a horse. However, I still won in the first round. For the second round, we switch horses, and he's even better while riding Pepper. Well, he is lean and built for speed, so no wonder Clyde excels more. It seems they are the perfect combination. We finish racing around 6 o'clock in the evening, not being able to remember the score. I invite Clyde to have dinner, and he accepts. When we got to my house, dinner was already prepared. We have roasted chicken and baked beans. As we eat, we keep talking about horses. Pepper seems to like you very much. You quickly learned his style. Clyde chuckles. No biggie. I'm used to quick riding and balancing as well. That's the main thing about polo. You need to have a good balance and enough speed so you can chase the ball properly. He then drinks his water. By the way, this is delicious, especially the baked beans, he added. That's good to hear. Anyway, if you're not busy after work, do you want to ride again? I'm hoping he'll say yes, so I can still practice even without Cojo. I need to prepare for the rodeo since the competition is getting nearer. Clyde checks his phone and then puts it back in his pocket. I'm crossing my fingers below the table, hoping that he'll agree. All right, just to make myself entertained, he replies with his cute smile again. He looks at his plate and starts eating again. Great, Ada. Might as well ask him to be your partner in the rodeo. Clyde, since you have experience riding horses, are you interested in competing with me at the rodeo? I give him my sweetest smile ever. He stops from cutting his roasted chicken, then tilts his head and raises his eyebrows. I freeze at his reaction. Is this what you really wanted to ask, Miss Wellington? He replies while still looking at me like that. Maybe. I give him an awkward smile. Sorry, but my answer is no, Miss Wellington. Besides, I don't have roping experience at all, he says and turns to his meal again. Why not, Mr. Keller? You have the ability, and your polo experience is an advantage already, and rope throwing will be easy for you. We just need to practice a bit. He stops eating. Also, I can promise you that you'll be entertained. Want to have a bet? I added. I hope my last line will trigger him. He's mentioned before that he likes to gamble. You really know what words to say to convince me, Miss Wellington. All right. He grins. Please entertain me, he adds. We finish eating with smiles on our faces, and I walk him to the gate. Well, Miss Wellington, I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Mr. Keller.
Chapter 13. Clyde, I finally found something entertaining to do here. When Ada asked me to hang out with her and her horses, I felt alive again. And with the rodeo, I actually wanted to do that. I just wanted to tease her for a bit. Are you done? Ada asks while pointing at the rope that I'm holding. I'm not Miss Wellington, as you can see, I reply. She is teaching me how to tie knots. It's simple, but I can't focus since my phone keeps on buzzing. Where are you? Why aren't you answering my calls and texts? It's from an unknown number. Suddenly my phone rings. Shouldn't you answer it, Mr. Keller? Ada asks. I excuse myself so I can take the call privately. I have a hint that it's from one of my hookups back in the city. Hello? Finally, you answered. It's a woman's voice. Clyde, where are you? We have a date today, she exclaims. My eardrums are going to burst, and I'm getting irritated by the second. I'm not in the city right now. I massage my nose bridge. Don't call or text me again. I hang up and block her number. After ending the call, I walk back to Ada to finish learning how to tie the knots. It takes half an hour before I master tying the knots. For each knot, I tie it 5 times successfully before we proceed to the second part of my practice. Let's move to rope throwing and reeling, Ada said. She teaches me how to properly hold and coil the rope to avoid it from getting tangled up. This is the easy part, and it gets harder when I need to start throwing. She puts a big drum in front of us and places a heavy object on top as my target. I try to capture it, but it's either I throw a little bit short or exceed my target. Come on, let me show you how. She gets the rope from my hand and positions herself. I move a bit to the side to give her some space. She starts to spin the rope, and in just a few seconds she throws and locks it on the target. Why does it look easy when she's doing it? Don't worry, Mr. Keller. You'll be able to do it eventually. Now try it again. She gives me the rope and smiles. I try and fail a few more times. After the 10th time, I finally capture the target. There you go, Mr. Keller. Try it again. She keeps cheering me on, and it makes me more motivated to do it well. There are still a few times that I miss the target, but for the most part, I capture it. Before we try combining riding and throwing, Ada makes me do everything again, from tying the knots to throwing. She makes me repeat from the beginning whenever I make a mistake, even the slightest one. After I succeed without any mistakes, she gets one of her goats and makes it my target. This will be harder for me since the target is already moving. I get on Pepper and start chasing the goat. I miss the first few throws, but I'm not disheartened since Ada still keeps cheering me on. I didn't stop until I captured the goat. I look at Ada and give her a genuine smile. Great work, she shouted. I practiced several more times. Ada records my catches in her notebook. We'll use it as a reference for the next practice, so I know where I can improve. We stop when it's almost dark and start to store everything we used in our practice. While we're doing it, I try to learn more about Ada. Aside from riding horses and farm work, what else do you do? I ask while leading Pepper to the stables. I love surfboarding, car shows, gun expos, and volunteering, she replies. How about you? She asks. Casinos. I mentioned to you before that I love gambling. So I'm usually hanging out at the casino, I say. That seems interesting. I chuckle. Her life is more interesting than mine. The following weeks have been great. Ada and I have been spending a lot more time together, so we have become closer. After work, I'll go straight to Wellington's Rancho Vista to practice, and it's become my routine already. Nita and John are teasing me since I always leave work with a smile on my face. Hello, Miss Wellington. What brings you here? I greet her. She's standing in front of the gate of Wellington's Rancho Vista. I just had to check something. You're in a good mood, Mr. Keller, she replies, and leads me inside. Yeah, because we'll practice again. I smile. We start to prepare all the things that we need, and after that I go to Chile. I practice with both horses, switching between them every other day. Your last record is 14.69 seconds, and you need to beat that, Mr. Keller, she says without looking up from her notebook. We practiced for 5 hours straight, but I wasn't riding the whole time. I was able to rest when she was the one who was practicing. I'm glad we were able to improve our results. I also feel I had a purpose ever since we started doing this. I'm also surprised by the bond I made with Ada. I've never had a relationship like this with a girl. Whenever I see women, I always flirt with them. With Ada, it's different. I found a person whom I can connect with. I'm brought back to reality when she speaks. See you tomorrow. She smiles. All right. See you tomorrow. I wave goodbye. I'm finally in bed after I ate and took a bath. As I stare at the ceiling, I remember my first impression of Ada. She was snobbish and showed that she didn't like me since I was a city boy who knew nothing about farms. But still, she helped me when I was in trouble and taught me, so I can adjust to farm life. I smile and look at my wall clock. I count the number of hours left before I meet up with Ada. I miss her already, and I wish that morning will come so I can see her again, especially her smile. You won't know what hit you, baby. I'm going to take you, break you, and make you mine. And when I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy,
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
and you might got the money,
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
but that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaires audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you,
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance. Chapter 14. Ada. It's been weeks since we started the training, and I can see good improvements in Clyde's performance. I am happy with the everyday results. It's a good thing that he doesn't make complaints, not once, even if he's tired from work. In fact, there are times that I won't bring up practice so he can rest, but then he'll be the one to mention it to me. Today, I had to go to Rossetti Farm. Since I'm already here, we decide to go to my farm together. I mentioned that Cojo will be in the house since he's discharged, so Clyde brings some pineapples for him. I have no doubt that you and Cojo will get along easily, I say. I hope so, he replies. We arrive at my farm, but my family wasn't there yet, so we head to the practice area. Clyde is doing his routine now, and he's really improved compared to the first time he tried capturing the goat while riding a horse. You are doing great, Clyde, I comment. In the middle of our practice, his phone rings for the nth time, so he asks me to grab it. I take it from the bench and accidentally answer the call. A woman appears on the screen. It was a video call. I point the front camera to him and hold it in place since he has no free hand to grab the phone. Clyde, baby, the woman says when she sees Clyde. Her smile widens. My eyes narrow as I look at the girl. She's wearing makeup, large earrings, and a hat. She looks like a city girl. I wonder who she is. Jane, why are you calling? He asks. So, Jane is her name, huh? I glance at him, then at her. I wanted to see you, of course, and to talk with you too. She gives her a wink, and he grimaces. This is my first time seeing a girl act like this. Maybe she is his girlfriend if she can do something like that. Are they in a long-distance relationship? I've got to go, he replies, and gives me a gesture to end the call. I look at him, my eyes widening. I'm not sure if it's okay to just end it, but he gives me a look again. But Clyde? He gets down from the horse and grabs the phone from me to end the call. Before I can ask, he turns away from me and walks to Pepper. He ties her to a post and starts cleaning up. I was about to help when I hear my family talking in the house. I tell him that I'll head in first, and he should follow when he wants to. I go inside, and I see Cojo in his wheelchair. Ray is doing whatever she can to assist our brother. My thoughts about Jane and Clyde are gone and occupied by what I'm seeing. My two younger siblings helping each other makes my heart happy. Have you seen the box of pineapples on the table, Cojo? I ask, and he glances in my direction. Clyde brought it for you. I continue. I see. Where is he, by the way? He replies. He's putting Pepper back in the stables. I answer. He nods and continues whatever conversation they were having before I interrupted. Hi, Mom and Dad. Everything good in the hospital? Hi, Hisha. Everything's great. Your father and I just need to step out for a bit. My mom replies. Okay, I'll handle things here, I say. They leave, and I sit down and tune into my siblings' conversation. 30 minutes have passed before Clyde enters the house, holding a book. Hi, Cojo. Nice to meet you. He offers his hand, and my brother accepts it. This is for you. He handed him the book he was holding. Wow, a book about horses. Thank you for this. Cojo gives me a smile and starts to browse the book. Clyde, this is Ray, our younger sister, I say. They greeted each other. By the way, Clyde, Cojo was supposed to be my partner in the rodeo, but since he's still recovering, he wouldn't be able to compete with me, I continue. Clyde nods and just glances at me. What's up with him? Is he that embarrassed about what happened? Well, he doesn't bother to hide it from me, huh? I'm annoyed, so I'll treat him the same. He continues staring at the distance to avoid making eye contact with me. Suddenly, Cojo breaks the silence. You need to prove that my sister is a good teacher. You better win the competition, Clyde, he says. Clyde looks in his direction. I will try my best, he replies. He looks at me, but I avoid his gaze. Dinner's ready, Ray says as she walks towards Cojo's wheelchair. She brings him to the dining area. Clyde and I follow them. Continue your conversation over dinner. I made enchiladas and chicken mole, Ray said while pointing at the dishes on our table. She cooked Cojo's favorite dish. Ray's in charge of cooking since she's a better cook than me. Ray and I eat in silence while Clyde and Cojo keep talking about horses. I feel happy seeing Cojo smile like that again. There's a spark in his eyes while he talks to Clyde about horses and his escapades. It feels nostalgic, just like when he talked to me about horses to convince me to ride them again. I can see that Clyde is also happy listening and talking to him. I knew that they would click, but not this fast. In the middle of their conversation, Clyde's phone starts ringing. He pulls out his phone from his pocket, and his eyes widen as soon as he sees the caller ID. He excuses himself to answer the call, and we all just nod. Hello, Dad? I hear him say as he's leaving the dining area. So it's his dad? I've never heard anything about his family before.
Chapter 15. Clyde. Thank you, Mr. Clyde, says one of the helpers on Rossetti Farm after I helped him harvest the cabbage. You're welcome, I reply and smile at him. See? You can do it after some practice. You even helped one of our helpers here, John comments. I can help with some tasks, but there are still a lot of things I need to learn, I answer. I don't know what happened to me these past weeks. I feel like the old Clyde is gone, and a new me is born. I like doing the work on the farm now and can't remember when it started. All I can say is the longer I stay here, the more I love what I'm doing. I look around and see Ada. I walk toward her, and when she sees me, she smiles. We don't have practice today. We'll go somewhere else, she says as she sits down on the bench. We'll use my motorbike, I reply and give her a towel to wipe her sweat. I really like Ada's spontaneous side. That's why I look forward to being with her. She has taken me to a lot of places, and every time I'm thrilled. I wonder where we're going this time. After we're done working, we decide to get changed first before we head out. I take a shower before heading to pick her up. I put on a simple gray V-neck shirt, pants, and boots. As I stop in front of their gate, I see Ada wearing a plain white shirt and high-waisted pants, partnered with a black leather jacket and white boots. She gives me directions and we arrive at Tillamook Creamery. She tours me around, and afterward we go to a car show and gun expo. Her interests are very boyish, unlike the women in the city. They're usually more into fashion, makeup, jewelry, and parties. It's refreshing to be with Ada. She's unique in so many ways, like how she dresses and talks and her interests. I've never met someone like her before. I suddenly remember what my dad told me before I left. You will like it there, son. You'll meet women who are different from those girls you flirt with here in the city. Maybe he's right about that. A woman who no one will think is after my money, and that woman is beside me. I'm so lucky to have met Ada. I've also gotten the chance to meet new people thanks to her. Ada looks really happy looking at the different cars. She keeps telling me random information about the vehicles, and I am amused. I started to like seeing her like that and listening to every little thing she says. Her voice is like my favorite song that I want to play on repeat. I remember the time when we were practicing and Jane called me. I used to date her before my womanizing phase, and I thought we had a future together. I'm glad that I'm not affected by her anymore. I was actually more worried about Ada hearing something stupid from her. I'm brought back to reality when Ada holds my hand and drags me to a display. There are a lot of people here, so I keep on saying sorry to the people we bump into as we rush to where she wants us to go. I like to have this one, she jokes and points at a Jeep Wrangler. She has good taste in cars. I should buy a Wrangler when I get back to the city. After that, she pulls me again to see the line of cars for street racing. I look at her and her eyes are sparkling. So you're into car racing, huh? She nods while both of her hands are intertwined below her chin. My interests are nothing compared to hers. I smirk. What do you think about car drifting? She looks at me and I can see her smile widen. Oh, I would love to try that, she says excitedly. I will take note of that. While Ada is still busy looking at the cars, I pull out my phone and go to my notes app. I'm smiling while adding a note to my to-do list. Go to Speed Vegas with Ada. Right after that, I receive a call from my father. I wanted to ignore his call since I'm still with Ada, but my finger presses the answer button. Hello, son. Where are you? Why do I hear noises in the background? He asks as soon as I answer his call. I excuse myself to Ada to look for a quieter place so we can hear each other. Dad, what do you need this time? I ask. Fiona keeps updating me about your improvements on the farm, which should have been done by you, Clyde. But that's not important now. She said that you have already gained enough knowledge on the farm. He paused. I don't like where this conversation is going. Please don't let it be what I'm thinking of right now. What is it? I ask. Sorry, someone asked me to sign something. What was I saying? It's time for you to return. I'll prepare everything, he replies. Wait. Hold on, I have an urgent meeting to attend to. He ended the call, and I'm still in shock. After some thinking, I decided that I'll ask my father if he'll agree for me to stay a little bit longer on the farm, so I can still be with Ada and do the rodeo with her. If my father will not agree, I'll just have to convince him, even if I have to travel back and forth. Thinking about being away from Ada makes me want to curse Fiona and my father. I go back to where Ada is while still thinking about the conversation my father and I had. Are you okay? She asks curiously. Yeah, I'm good. Nothing to worry about. I smile and then hold her hand. She smiles back in return.
Chapter 16. Ada. The rodeo competition is very near, however. Clyde's performance today is not as good as before. We always keep track of his records, monitor them, and try to beat every single one. He's been successfully doing so I assumed that he will again today. But he didn't. His skill right now is enough to enter the rodeo. However, I want him to be as good as me. I can see that he's doing his best in all the stunts, but he seems unfocused. I wonder what he's thinking about. We'll have a 15-minute break, Ada and Clyde, Cojo announces. Cojo is with us, watching our practice. It's good that he's with us since he can give Clyde some tips about roping. This is the part where Clyde's really having a hard time now. You could try to raise your arm a little bit when doing it, Cojo explains to Clyde, who only nods. Cojo continues talking, but he eventually sees that Clyde is not listening anymore. Clyde sits down and I grab a bottle of water before sitting beside him. I give him the bottled water, and then I look at my brother and give him a sign to leave us alone. I have to go check on something, Cojo says before wheeling himself toward the house. Once we're alone, I turn to Clyde. Is there something wrong, Mr. Keller? I ask him. He snaps back to reality when he hears my question and looks at me. Nothing's wrong, Miss Wellington. He smiles. Then why do you look bothered? The past few days you have been improving, but today you can't get it right. I crossed my arms. I have this feeling that it's related to the call he received last time when we were at the car show. After he returned, he couldn't concentrate. I didn't bother to ask him about it, since I'm in no position to ask about his personal life. He clenched his jaw. It's just that my father wants me back in Las Vegas. I know Clyde is just staying here in Oregon for a short time, that sooner or later he will go back to Las Vegas. But despite knowing it, I'm still hoping that he won't leave us here. And you want to go back? I'm trying my best not to sound or look disappointed. I have no choice, Miss Wellington, but he shakes his head. Never mind. Thinking that Clyde will be leaving soon makes me sad. I admit that the first time I met him, I didn't like him. But after we talked and got to know more about each other, I started to enjoy his company. Actually, I have grown fond of him. I now look forward to seeing him on Rosetti's farm and to being with him during practice. If that's what your father wants, then you need to follow him. But I want him to decline and stay here in Oregon. I'll miss you, Mr. Keller, I continue and give him a tight hug. He hugs me back. I will miss you too, Miss Wellington, so much. Don't worry, I'll be back. I have a new life here in Oregon. He then kissed my head. I'll wait for you, Mr. Keller. I hug him tighter. Gosh, I'm going to miss this man. We stop practicing since Clyde can't concentrate anyway. We decide to continue the next day so he can rest. Postponing the practice will have a big impact on our performance, since the rodeo is just in a few weeks. However, continuing the practice when he's like this will just be a waste of our time and energy. Today is the day that I didn't want to come. John decided to have a farewell party for Clyde. We will just have lunch together with the other workers here at Rosetti Farm. In the middle of eating, we hear a car stop in front of the gate. All of us look to see who's there. Clyde is the first person to stand up, and he walks in their direction. I decide to go as well after I realize that it's a vintage Land Rover. A woman in her mid-20s gets out of the expensive car. She's wearing a sky blue pencil-cut skirt and a white long sleeve and holding an iPad. She looks in Clyde's direction. Are your things ready, sir? She asks him. Yes, Fiona. They are all by the table, he replies. Fiona then instructs a man in a suit to get all of Clyde's things near the table. We're all shocked while witnessing this scene. Why does Clyde have people assisting him? And does he own that expensive car? First things first, Clyde. You will need to meet up with your father as soon as you get back to Las Vegas. It's about the businesses that you'll soon handle. Then the next day, you'll transfer to your new penthouse. Your things are already there. I overhear the woman tell him. Clyde clenches his jaw and turns around. He's surprised when he sees me behind him. I start walking toward them. But Clyde meets me halfway and grabs my hand. He brings me to one corner and starts talking. You heard what the woman said earlier? He asks while squeezing my right hand, and I nod in response. Look, Ada, I'm a son of a multi-billionaire businessman, and my father wants me to take over our family business. He sent me here for an educational retreat. He explains. This explains why he wasn't good at doing manual labor, and how he knows all the expensive cars mentioned during the car show. I would have never thought that he's the son of a multi-billionaire. I suddenly feel small. The man whom I'm talking to right now is out of my league. My legs weaken after realizing all of these things. Clyde grabs me immediately to prevent me from falling. "You okay, Ada?" he asks, with concern in his eyes. "Yeah, I think I'm good now." I stand firmly and remove his hands from my back. I fix my clothes and grab something in my pocket. "By the way, here's a little souvenir from me." I put out my first ever medal from a rodeo competition and give it to him. He takes it from my hand. "Thank you, Ada. Among all the medals that I have, that's the most important one to me. Kindly take good care of that." "I will. Now it feels like you will be going back with me to Las Vegas." He hasn't left yet, but I already want him to come back. We still have to do the rodeo. I also want to keep hanging out and riding after work, but honestly, I just want him to stay here.
Chapter 17, Clyde. During our flight, Fiona keeps talking about my itinerary. However, I haven't been listening to a word she says. I just keep looking at the medal that Ada gave me. Every time I miss her, I look at the medal. I imagine that she's here with me. I want to bring her to Speed Vegas. I'm sure that she'll enjoy it. I look at Fiona and she's talking about my schedule. I'm still mad at her for not informing me ahead of what my father was planning. "Yes, sir. We'll be landing soon," she says on the phone. It's probably my father. After a few minutes, our plane lands in Las Vegas. One of our cars is already there to bring us to my dad's office. Fiona knocks on my dad's office and he tells us to enter. She greets him and then leaves us two in the office. "Dad, can we talk tomorrow?" I'm exhausted right now. I go to him and kiss his head. "Relax, Clyde. I just want to have a few drinks with you. I was proud after hearing how you became familiar with those farm tasks. I can't believe you did that, son. So I just want to celebrate your little milestone." He smirks. I'm not sure if he's being sarcastic or not, so my jaw instinctively clenches. I get a bottle of Jack Daniels and pour some of it in his glass and mine. I've already finished my glass. I glance at my father to see if he's done. After he finishes drinking, I stand up. "Can I go now, Dad?" I ask. "Yes, but we'll play polo tomorrow, son. I already told Fiona about it," he says. "All right, Dad." I wave and leave his office. I have no choice but to accept his invitation. Besides, no matter what my response is, I'll still be forced to go. However, I'm excited about riding horses again because I want to see how much I improved thanks to Ada. "Wake up, Clyde. Your father has been calling to see if you're ready for the game today." I look at the clock and see that it's just 6 o'clock in the morning. My God, it's too early to wake up. I roll over in my bed and put my pillow on my head to block Fiona out. "Come on, Clyde." She pulls the blanket and opens the curtains to expose the sun. I reluctantly get up and go to the bathroom to get ready. "Your son is really good, Samson. After a few rounds, I can see that I really can't beat him." I hear one of my dad's colleagues tell him, "Of course, that's my son you're talking about. He got his skills from me," he says proudly. "No, Dad, I got it from Ada." I smile after saying her name in my head. I start reminiscing about our time together. After the game, my dad and Fiona bring me to my new penthouse. I can stay here and do nothing for the rest of the day. "Savor this day, son. Starting tomorrow we'll be very busy men," he says before leaving the penthouse. He wasn't lying when he said those words. It's been 3 weeks since I arrived and everything is chaotic. There are lots of meetings and social gatherings that he needs me to attend. "You need to do this, Clyde. This is just the beginning." My dad puts another pile of documents on my table. "Is it necessary to review all of these things, Dad?" I ask, while pointing at all the papers on my table. "Yes, son. As my successor, you need to be familiar with everything about our businesses, as well as our clients and investors." He taps my shoulder. "If you need my help, I'm just an office away," he adds before leaving. After a few hours, I stop in the middle of everything and bring out Ada's medal. I always bring this with me. I usually look at it whenever I feel stressed, I want a break, or when I miss her. I wonder how she's doing on the farm. Another day has passed, and my dad and I are having dinner at his favorite Japanese restaurant. He's in the middle of discussing the new business he wants to open, but my mind is preoccupied with going back to Oregon since the rodeo is just a few days away. "Are you still listening, Clyde?" he asks. "What were you saying, Dad? Is there something bothering you?" "I'm wondering if you'll allow me to go back to the farm. I miss the simple life there, Dad." Let me guess, my dear son. Is it because of a woman who won your heart?" My eyes widen, but I recover quickly and shake my head. I grab the medal and secretly look at it. My connection to Ada is different from any other woman I met. I do love being around her, having a conversation with her, and seeing her smile. Wait, does this mean I like her? Am I attracted to her romantically? I disregard that thought. What I want for now is to go back to Oregon and be in her company again. Son, if you want to pursue that woman, I will not stop you. But do not repeat the same mistakes I made. I don't want you two to end up like me and your mother. You should always put your family first. Family before career, or anything else in this world. I'm shocked that this is his response instead of stopping me. This is also the first time I hear my dad talk about love and family. We never really had an opportunity to talk about our lives, so I'm quite amused by his words. Again, Dad, I'm not in love with her. It's just pure business. I let go of the medal and continue eating my food. All right, if you say so. He lets me see his grinning face. But if you want to go back to Oregon because of your personal business, you may do so at any time you want if she... No, that is your priority for now, he added. Thank you, Dad, for understanding. I smile at him. We finish our dinner, and I return to the penthouse. The moment I got back, I grab my laptop and look for the earliest flight to Oregon. Luckily, I'm able to book a flight on the day of the rodeo. You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyla Walker Romances in the Big AF audio bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyla can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit TylaWalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner. Because you might just forget to feed your family.
TylaWalker.com. Escape your life with Tyla. Chapter 18. Ada, I lost count of the sunrises and sunsets since the day that Clyde left Oregon. There's never a time or day that he doesn't cross my mind. That's how much I miss him. I am tempted to contact him, but I try my best to restrain myself since I'm sure that he's busy with work. So the only thing I can do is to look at our photos. We have pictures from when we were practicing and going around town, but today I have no choice but to contact him. It's finally the day of our rodeo competition, and Clyde is still not here. I am worried that he will ditch me. Still, I'm hoping that he'll be able to compete with me. I wonder if he was able to find time to practice our routine and stunts, but knowing that he has bigger responsibilities now, he probably won't be able to practice the routine. I smile bitterly at the thought. Did he text back? Cojo asks, following my every movement with his eyes. I have been walking back and forth while waiting for Clyde's reply. Every time my phone beeps, we immediately check if it's from him. No response from him. I answer back while typing the next message I'll send Clyde. Let's go first to the rodeo and hope that you can still do it even if he's not here. Maybe we can find you a substitute partner, Cojo replies. Hey, you sound like Clyde will not be present for sure. I cross my arms and raise my eyebrows at him. He chuckles. What I mean is, you need to be positive no matter what, Ada. I sigh heavily. I do want to look at the bright side of things instead of moping around, but it's just that we have practiced so hard for this. And I'm really sorry that I am no use to you in this competition. He smiles sadly. No. You have nothing to apologize about. There is always the next competition that we can join together. Who knows? Maybe on the next one, we'll be the champions. For now, just focus on your healing process, I say and give him a hug. He finally smiles genuinely, and then we head out to the stables to check on Chili and Pepper. Don't worry, Ada. If Clyde won't show up today, I'll be his replacement, John says when he sees us enter with sad faces. John is here to help us to load the 2 horses and our things into the truck. Since he mentioned Clyde, my worries came back again. I'm sad that he's not around, and it gets worse when I think that he'll not come back anymore. I keep holding on to his promise, thinking he's not the same as the other guys I've met. But I guess the joke was on me. My expectation of Clyde is so high that I almost forgot that he also has a life in Las Vegas. I smirk and shake my head at that thought. It's good to hear that, John. Thank you. I try to give him a smile, but I think it came out weird. John is a good substitute since he has the experience already. He did it during his younger days. Unfortunately, it will still be different compared to doing the rodeo with my brother or Clyde. At least I won't be disqualified anymore. Still, I'm thankful that he volunteered to be my partner. I was planning to ask him anyway, but I was too shy to ask him last minute. After loading all of our things, we go straight to the Tillamook County Rodeo. In just a few minutes, we reach the place. John and I go to the registration area to confirm our names. Our names are Ada Wellington and John Rossetti. I say to one of the personnel and give her our passes. She flips the paper and looks for our names. She reaches the last page of her file, and confusion is written on her face. I'm sorry, miss, but we only have Ada Wellington and Clyde Keller, she replies. Oh, shoot. I forgot to call ahead. It's still Clyde who's registered as my partner. Sorry, please change my partner's name from Clyde Keller to John Rossetti. I smile at her and hope that it's still okay to change partners on the day of the competition. All right, she replies. I let out a sigh of relief. She erases Clyde's name and changes it to John's. I'm lucky they allowed changing partners, even without prior notice. After that, we go to our spot. I put my things there and scan the area. I look at the crowd and am amazed by what I'm seeing. Ever since I started competing in rodeos, I have never seen this big of a crowd. This is the very first time that I'm competing in front of a huge audience. This makes me feel nervous. I wish Clyde was here with me so he can also see how exciting the rodeo is. I'm still hoping that he will show up even at the last minute. I look around, but there's probably no way he'll show up. I then see my parents, Cojo, and Ray, who are sitting in the middle. As usual, they have their banner with them. I go to where my family is to have a little chat and to receive some encouragement from them. After a few minutes, John calls me, so I excuse myself from my family and go to him. You still haven't received any reply from Clyde? I'm a bit shocked by his question. No, why? I ask, confused. Nothing, I thought he messaged you. He gives me a smile and leaves me there. I want to ask him where he is going, or if he has heard anything from Clyde, but he left immediately. I was left here standing and wondering what the hell is happening.
Chapter 19. Clyde. I sprint out of the airport after finally landing in Oregon. The travel time was 1 hour and 43 minutes, yet it seemed like 8. Damn. I'm hoping to arrive on time for the rodeo. I'm not sure if my return to Oregon is solely for the competition, because I miss my new life here, or because I miss Ada. Will I eventually find out when I see her? I finally arrive at the Tillamook County Rodeo. As I enter, I spot Ada and John. He messaged me that he'll be my stand-in. Ada must have thought that I wouldn't make it to the competition. Well, I haven't contacted her, so who can blame her? So I messaged John beforehand that I was going to make it. I see him leave Ada alone, and she looks confused. John is headed toward my way and winks at me. I smile and give him a tap on the shoulder before walking toward Ada and the horses. I get behind her and say, "Wasn't it too easy for you to find someone to replace me?" She turns around. "Clyde!" She grabs hold of me and punches me on the arm. "What a wonderful way to greet your partner," I respond, hoping I'm not too late. "I thought you abandoned me for good. I thought you forgot about this competition." She gives me a timid smile. I'm melting. If only she knew that no matter how busy I've been at home, I haven't stopped thinking of her. After seeing her again, I realize what draws me back to this place. It's her. I swear you won't believe how crazy it was when I got back home. I try to change the topic into a less awkward one. I have a ton of stories to tell her to keep us both at least relaxed as we wait for our turn. Ada staring at me while I tell her how bad it was back at home is actually making it less crappy. Her sincere focus on my story makes it seem as though I'm telling her an exciting tale. I continue telling her what happened back in Las Vegas. Even the story of my father's proposal for me to take the family business. "So, did you accept that proposal?" Her voice becomes mellow and her eyes darken. "Well, being the only heir requires me to take up the family business, so..." I want to tease her, so I'm still hesitant to tell her everything. "So what, Clyde? Are you going to accept it or not?" "Let me see. What did I tell him again? I'm afraid I'll have to turn down your offer because I have other priorities," I reply while staring straight into her eyes. I watch her bite her lower lip, trying to resist a smile as she looks down at the ground. I make an effort to end the awkwardness by saying, "Okay, I know I gave you a hard time before this, so let this motivate you. How about we go to Speed Vegas if we win a medal?" That seemed to work since her face immediately brightens up like a child. "You have to keep your word," she responds. I can't allow her to become distracted because this is an important event for her. The announcer mentions our team. Of course. I smile and wink. Ada rides Chili while I ride Pepper. As we approach the arena, both horses grunt and stomp. Ada and I exchange glances and nod. The steer is then released into the arena as Ada then runs off in pursuit, taking the role of the header as she throws the rope to grab the steer by the neck. I then catch up behind her, taking the role of the healer. I manage to nail the rope and catch the steer by its rear legs thanks to Pepper's quickness and my long hours of practice. The time of our run is 5.5 seconds. I can't believe a novice like me accomplished that. The crowd goes wild since we got the steer in a flash. As we get off the horses, Ada and I exchange high fives. I give Pepper a gentle brush, praising him for being a fantastic partner as well. We head to the stands to watch the rest of the competition. I almost forgot that this is a professional competition. Now and then, one pair after another quickly captures the steer, and my jaw drops. Finally, they announce the winners, and we are in second place. "Wow! The first-place team was able to do it in 4.7 seconds, I say. Oda giggles at my reaction. The best teams in town are produced by their crew. She gently taps my shoulder to comfort me. "Since we're only in second place, I guess we won't go to Speed Vegas," she adds. "Says who?" I'm certain I never said first place. What I said was if we win a medal. She smiles at me and we head to the Rossetti farm. Nita rushes in our direction as we return to the farm. John tells her the results. "I had a feeling you two would make it." "Impressive for a beginner, Clyde," she says. She and John lead us to the dining table, where a variety of tasty, hearty meals are served. Nita tosses the salad while listening to us recounting everything that happened. I head to the bathroom to wash my hands, and as I enter the dining area, I hear them talking about when I arrived at the competition. The moment I take a seat, Nita lightly strikes my head with a wooden spoon. You have no idea how stressed and anxious Ada was. Good thing you arrived on time. I smile, and everyone chuckles as I massage my head. Following the hearty supper, we continue the chat outside over drinks. Laughter over stories is a great method to relax after a competition.
Chapter 20. Ada. After the celebration, we head home and let Clyde stay at our guest house. I drank a lot during dinner, so I know I'm not going to be able to sleep immediately since drinking makes me dehydrated at night, dragging my feet in agony. I head toward the kitchen to get a glass of water. I look outside and see that the lights in the guest house are still on. I remember Clyde said that his arm and shoulder were aching this evening. He must have difficulty falling asleep as well. I decide to go check on him as I knock on the door. Hey, just checking in to see if everything is all right, I say behind the closed door. He doesn't respond, so I continue. I'm coming in if you don't reply in the next minute. After 60 seconds, I open the door assuming something has happened. The moment I enter, the bathroom door opens as well. He walks out with only a towel wrapped around his lower half. What's up? My eyes can't believe what they're seeing. Clyde resembles a Greek god with his sculpted and toned abs and chiseled chest. He chuckles after seeing how I'm staring at him. Close the door and come inside. It's getting cold. I take my seat by the nearby dresser, avoiding eye contact with him. Why the heck did I enter? He then proceeds to sit on his bed, drying his frizzy hair. After a brief, awkward silence, I ask, "Are we still going to Speed Vegas?" "Of course we'll go. Didn't I promise that we'd go there if we win a medal?" He replies. "But in the meantime, how about going on a different kind of ride with me tonight?" He looks at me intently. How can we when you can't even raise a finger? I get what he's implying, but I worry for him, as he's undoubtedly tired because of today's events. Don't worry, I recovered my energy after that filling dinner. He abruptly shifts his gaze from my eyes to my lips. Are you aware that nothing will stop me from expressing my love for you? Outside, I can already hear the birds chirping. My grip on Clyde's arm tightens. As I fall asleep, all I can think about is that I want to stay in his arms forever. I hate to put a stop to a good time, but it looks like we've hit this platform's limit for spiciness.
This platform's got some rules we have to play by if we want to keep giving you these stories for free.
And trust me, this scene isn't something you want to miss.
While we can't get into all the details here, you can still dive into the full, uncut version at TylaWalker.com.
Miss Tyla has an entire collection of unabridged audiobooks and ebooks waiting for you.
And the best part? You can treat yourself with 40% off when you use the code SAVE40.
That's right. You'll save on any digital product, even bundles that are already discounted.
Miss Tyla would never let anyone feel the kind of disappointment you must be feeling right now.
So why wait? Treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
Epilogue. Clyde, it's been 2 months since the competition and I haven't seen Ada. I had to go back to Las Vegas because there are still things I need to do. Being in a long-distance relationship just kills me, even though she and I talk every day. That's why I've decided to bring her to Las Vegas. I asked Fiona's assistants to help prepare for Ada's arrival. Everything is still a secret to Ada, but I've already asked her family for permission. Until we make a decision to get married and choose where we will live, I want her to stay here with me. That last visit to Wellington's Rancho Vista made me come to the realization that I need her in my life every day. It also seems like she has forgotten about Speed Vegas, so I'm planning to surprise her as well as introduce her to my dad. As I'm busy packing my things after a quick workout in the gym, I receive a call from Ada. "Hey Clyde, so I received this email from an airline regarding a booked trip from Oregon to Las Vegas," she says. "Surprise! You should start packing now," I reply. She squeals and starts jumping in excitement. "You can pack light. We'll buy the rest of the things you need here. See you soon, sweetie." I blow her a kiss before disconnecting the call. I'll meet her at the airport and we'll go directly to Speed Vegas, where I've gotten us a Supercars Exotics racing package with go-kart after the drift. I asked Cojo what she would prefer, and he suggested these. Finally, the day arrives. I'm already at the airport, waiting for Ada. I finally spot her and she rushes to give me a kiss and a hug. "Baby, I've missed you so much." "I missed you too, my princess." I hug her back. I grab her bag and we head to the car. We finally arrive at Speed Vegas. Ada's eyes are shining as she observes how quickly the racer cars pass. As soon as the track marshal made the signal, we rush to the Charger SRT Hellcat, which is perfect for drifting. After, we move on to the go-kart track, where we have 5 sessions. Ada wants to do more, but I already have plans for us. I've arranged a dinner with my father so they can meet formally. "Hey, Dad, are you already at the restaurant?" I called my father while Ada is resting in the VIP lounge. "I reserved a table at Joel Robuchon under my name. You can just go ahead first." "All right, see you," my dad replies and ends the call. "Let's go, Ada. Where are we going?" "You'll see." When we got to the restaurant, we see my dad and Fiona by the entrance. She smiles and walks toward us. "I'm glad you're formally inviting her to meet your dad," she says. "You certainly know how to win me over, huh?" my father quips as we step into the 3-star Michelin restaurant. Of course, I know he will never refuse a dinner invitation to his favorite restaurant. It's time to introduce her to the woman who led me to give up my womanizing ways. "Dad, first of all, I want you to meet my girlfriend, Ada Wellington. I'm not sure if my father will accept her, knowing she doesn't come from a well-known family." "I'm delighted to meet you, Miss Wellington." My father extends his hands. Ada smiles and shakes his hands. "Hello, sir. The pleasure is mine." My dad gives her hand a quick kiss, and she shyly retreats. We sit down, and after ordering, my father turns to me and asks, "So, what's your next plan?" "After living in Oregon, I realized a lot of things. I used to be a happy-go-lucky guy, actually. I still am. I'm not one to take life too seriously and have an easygoing attitude," I begin. "But I was able to work on my mindset and change my outlook on life," I continue. "I will not, of course, leave you with no options. Since Fiona is more familiar with how the business operates, she should become your successor. Fiona is the only person I have in my mind. Although there have been some disagreements in the past, I'm aware of how professional she is when working. I'm confident that, with my father's supervision, Fiona will be able to do it better than anyone. However, I'm taking the polo team and will serve as their head coach. I think that this is my calling." After I'm finished explaining, he appears to be thoughtfully considering it. I waited anxiously for the next few minutes. Finally, my father agrees. I look at Ada and smile. She smiles back, and I give her hand a squeeze. I'm so grateful that I met her. My life changed drastically 6 months after that fateful dinner. I traveled to Oregon regularly in my free time while constantly pursuing my position as the polo team's head coach. I also trained to be a hostler, taking care of horses and teaching riders the skill of team roping. In the end, Ada chose to live in Las Vegas with me. There was some adjustment on her part, but she is now able to settle there fully. And right now, we're in Oregon for the annual rodeo. "Clyde, the competition will begin soon. How long are you going to tie that damn shoe?" I scramble to tie my shoe as she yells, "Remember, we need to ace this one and take first place, okay?" "All right, but what's my prize?" My gaze focuses on her. "That," I said, pointing at her round, perky behind. I want those. They're already yours, Clyde, she whispers in my ear, slaps my bum and gives it a little squeeze. No, not right now, Clyde. I let out a deep breath. I sprint as quickly as I can toward the rodeo stand. After all the competitors are done, they announce the winner. We finally came in the first place. Since the last event we've done, I feel like I've improved a lot. Ada flashes a broad smile. Well done. Is it time to claim my prize? I tease. She gets closer and whispers, Sure. Let's go home now, baby. Oh, Ada, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you.